there, I'm Aaron, and what I'm going to show you today is how to make yourself unreplaceable to your guild and your friends and all that kind of good stuff. Now there's a couple different ways that you can make yourself unreplaceable, and what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about number one is performance, and number two is your attitude. Both play a huge role in when people are ready to invite you back to the raid and going to go kill some bad guys. The first thing we're going to talk about is performance, and the roots of performance is you really have to know your class. So what you need to do first of all is you need to go and read some forums, get some input from other people in your class that are doing well already, to bring your performance up to the level that it should be. Now, gear score is great. Gear score basically will tell you if you've been there or not, for those fights. It won't tell you if you're the guy that wiped the raid 4 times before you finally cleared it. All it really says is that you've been there. So performance, when you put it against your gear score, it allows your raid leaders, your guild leaders to see what you're doing. And so if you have a low gear score but your performance is very good, you may not be performing as well as somebody with a higher gear score, but that's okay, because intelligent people look for other intelligent people, and we know what to look for. So research, know your class, know the different trees in your class. Now there's the different aspects of your performance. If you're a DPS, go learn your rotation, learn your spec, learn your gemming and all that kind of good stuff. Go and test it out, master that, and then once you've mastered that, then you tweak it. So if you're going to try different gems, maybe you look back through your talent tree and you say, I think I'm going to try this talent, I'm going to try that talent. Test out different things and make the class your own, make the spec your own. When you can take ownership of your tune and of your spec, that's going to make your performance that much better. Now this may take some gold to change out gems and change specs and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to cover making gold in another video, because making gold is just crazy easy now. But anyway, maximize what you're doing based on the gear that you have and make your spec your own. So that's the DPS deal. So the next thing is tanking. Now when you're tanking, aggro and survivability are your two big deals. So what I like to do as a tank is I will take an okay healer, not my best healer, I'll take an okay healer and my best DPS, and we'll go 3-man a heroic. Not ICC or TOC. We'll do just one of the old school heroics like Violet Hold or something, and we'll see, number one, if an okay healer can keep me up, test out my survivability, and we'll see if my best DPS can pull off me on a regular basis. If my best DPS can't pull off me all the time and an okay healer can keep me up, then I know that I'm ready to go, tank some more challenging content. Healing, same thing. Check your spec, check your rotations. Make sure that the majority of your heals are on the, good heal side, not on the over heal side. If you're healing a tank and you got that 2.5 seconds cast that's just about to pop off, and your tank's all the way topped off, stop the cast. Keep that mana in your mana pool, and start over again. So that, hopefully that'll give you a couple good ideas for how to maximize your performance. Now the next thing that you need to do to really make yourself unreplaceable is you need to have a really great attitude. Now there's a couple things as far as your attitude goes that really does make you unreplaceable, and what I'm going to tell you about is what I call the 5 pillars of a fantastic attitude. Okay, now the first part of that, before I get into the 5 pillars, there's a lot of negativity in this game. Now the negativity is typically spread by that guy that's better than everybody else. He has great numbers but a really shitty attitude. That's all great and all, and that guy will fit into some guilds, but he's certainly not going to fit into every guild. This is a game. We're here to have fun. So your attitude plays a big part of that. Now, I'm not saying that being negative is completely bad. It's really not. Constructive criticism goes a long way, especially if you give it properly. As long as you temper, your 10% of negativity with 90% of positive feedback, then, that's fine, and people are still going to appreciate that. So, getting to the 5 pillars of a fantastic attitude, the first pillar is humility. Okay, and we already kind of talked about that a little bit. You got the guy that does the great DPS, he's the best tank on the server, and has a horrible attitude. Because he's better than everybody else. He's always the first guy to call someone out that's not performing well. Whatever. We don't need that. We want to have fun. We want to get through content. So be humble. If you are the best guy on the server, God bless you for it. That's wonderful. But you don't got to bleed it all over everybody. Keep it to yourself a little bit. When somebody asks you for help, be approachable. Be humble. Be gracious. Be happy to be there. Be happy that you can come and perform well, and hopefully bring others around you up to your level. Okay, so be humble. Next thing is kindness. Now kindness, again, it just comes back to being cool. Don't bleed your negativity all over the raid. Understand that these people are there to have fun. Be kind. And enjoy the game, and let others around you enjoy the game. Patience. This is a biggie, especially when you're raiding. Patience and diligence, those are 2 things that are really going to make your raid successful. Not many of these guilds are going to be able to go in and one-shot some of these new bosses. It's just not going to happen. It might take 10 or 15 attempts to get through a boss, and that's okay. Because once you get through it the first time, now getting through it is possible, where it seems like, before you actually down a boss that you're working on, it's kind of impossible until you're actually there for the kill. Once you're there for the kill, then the whole program changes a little bit. So be patient, be diligent. Those are actually 2 different pillars. Patience, if it takes 10 or 15 wipes, don't go in there for 3 wipes and say, okay, we're done. Go in there and hit it, go hit it again, go hit it again, go hit it again, and move forward. And when people in the raid start saying, oh, I gotta go wash my hair or something, hey, let's try a couple more attempts at this. We can get through this, we can do this. Positive attitude. That's the 5th pillar, is be positive. Instead of, what Joe Blow is doing, 3K DPS, and Bobby Joe's only doing, 1,500 heals, be positive. Spread the positive around, and, if you're going to call somebody out on their low numbers, say, hey, I see that you're struggling here a little bit, this is kind of what's going on, why don't you try and focus on this, or why don't we try and change targets, or try not to move as much. Give positive feedback, have a positive attitude, and that will be contagious to the rest of your raid. So I hope that helps you out a little bit. Didn't want to take up too much of your time, but make yourself unreplaceable, and the way that you're going to do that is by maximizing your performance for your gear level, and people that know what you should be doing. We know what to look for, so just do the best that you can. That's really all we can ask. Do the best that you can, and always come to the raid with a positive attitude. And if you can master those things, congratulations. You're one of the most unreplaceable guild members on the server.